Okay, so looking at this situation, okay? That kind of let you have a couple of minutes to think about it. You felt a little clueless. Well, this is new. Once you get used to it, it's pretty easy though, okay? What do you ask yourself? Well, ultimately, these are functions of u and v, right? This is a function of u and v. So a little change in u is going to do what? It's going to cause a little change in x, and it's going to cause a little change in y, right? So somehow the partial of x with respect to u and the partial of y with respect to u are going to be important, right? Okay? Well, let's see. So, x changes by a little bit, right? So, what's that do up here?
Changes f.
Yeah, but it's the change in x that results from the change in u that changes f, right? So that means you're probably going to have a partial of f with respect to x. Right? Okay? So u causes a change in x, which in turn causes a change in f, and right there is the rate at which f changes with respect to u due to the change in x. But there's also a change due to y, right? Which is this. Because u changes, which changes y a little bit, which in turn changes f. Okay? So if you ask, what does a little change in u do, you can trace it all the way through. Okay? Or you can do what engineers do and just memorize this formula because the x's cancel out and the y's cancel out. Okay? It's a shallower level of understanding, but it does get the job done most of the time when you don't really have to understand what's going on. Which is the case most of the time. You're just doing a calculation because there's some formula. Okay? On the other hand, if you run into a case where you really have to understand what all that means, you want to try to train those neurons in this course a little bit, okay? This course is not just about calculating answers, it's about understanding things. Okay, partial f with respect to v. Now, write out what you think that would have to be. Ask yourself the same questions. You could do it just by imitating this formula, but ask yourself, what does a little change in v do, and how does that change f?